Good afternoon. You are live here with American Goddess Politics. And today we're going to talk about some of the top Republican stories going on with President Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. So I want to start off by sending out my condolences to the families and the victims of the deadly plane crash in D.C. I would also like to let the world know that we are here. Three of our military did die in the army chopper that went down with the plane. We had six young U.S. ice skaters that had just come back from competing. Tragically, they lost their lives. If everybody's been watching, President Trump was on about 40 minutes ago, and he vowed that instead of the normal, you know, 2 to 3 years that we wait for the answers to this, he has vowed that we will get the answers immediately. So that'll be a much different contrast to when this would have happened if Biden were in. But let me get down to what he said. Okay, so he said that this is the FAA's fault. He said the FAA has a policy where they hire mentally ill, insane, physically and mentally deformed people to fly our planes. And that's a human tragedy. That's something that we shouldn't allow. I mean, these are planes that carry people's lives are in this, and you're hiring people to fly our planes that are physically and mentally disabled. Now, I do agree with him, they are entitled to jobs, absolutely, but there are better jobs for them than, you know, flying a plane. I was actually kind of shocked to know that the FAA hires people with disabilities like that because that's um that's a lot to fly a plane and have a disability as well. I mean, I know I couldn't do it. He went on to say that there were 64 other people that perished on the commercial flight that crashed into the helicopter. He says that the FAA is terrible and that whoever was running the switchboards apparently was not paying attention because he got access to the black box of both planes from the FAA. The verbal transaction between the ground and the plane were released to him. He said that literally the plane was given about 2 to 3 seconds notice. As you watch the video, you can see at the end as the chopper tries to turn because the call was so late coming in to divert one of the planes. He said they were both going identically the same speed and were at identically the same height. So again, I say somebody behind that dashboard at FAA was not paying attention, and our president has now confirmed that. Okay, now, he said that he was concerned, seeing as there was clear weather on that evening, why each plane didn't see each other, coming in. But again, yes, that is their job, but they rely on the people on the bottom to let them know that, it's okay to continue to go. So, at this point, who do you give blame to? Because, he's just as confused as the rest of us, apparently, and weather has confirmed from Washington's weather post that it was absolutely clear last night. So this is just truly a tragedy of unimaginable gratuity. Um, unimaginable pain right now. Kansas is in pain, as well as the state of Washington. There is a massive rescue well, rescue operation, I should say, but it's more like a retrieval at this point because no one survived, and President Trump was able to relay that to us. Um, Keeping on the same note, we did today get our first press briefing from Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. Yay, Pete Hegseth. That was great. He said what needed to be said. He echoed the president a lot. I would have liked to hear him, a little more have articulated, but as he said, he's not going to speculate anything until he has all the details of exactly what transpired, down to the seconds within. He has also vowed, like President Trump, that he will get to the bottom of this, and that he is going to set a new set of stipulations for who can now be recruited into the FAA. He said this policy of hiring mentally and physically deformed people is not safe. And I echo that. It's not. Nobody with a mental illness or any type of physical deformity should be flying a plane. I mean, Trump went on to say that they are mentally handicapped and they are being given keys um, to an airplane. I mean, does that sound right to you? Is that what we're doing? Because that means you don't care about our safety if you're hiring somebody with one leg, for instance. Trump went on to say that the FAA has reports of them having employed a one-footed man who was you guys have to forgive me because I don't know anywhere in the world that would allow a person with one foot to operate a plane. I mean, it's very tragic. It really is. And I'm glad that President Trump is gonna, update the criteria to, work for the FAA. Now, another story that I wanted to touch base on, which isn't getting much light because, when things are a problem for them, the Democrats like to hide it under the table. So I did a little digging myself through the Associated Press. RFK Jr. is causing quite a stir. His nomination is really, people have said that it is grossly incompetent for him to run this because he doesn't believe in vaccines. They have him on tape saying that vaccines have led to mental retardation of children. I mean, and yesterday he was in there pleading for his life that, he had changed his views and that this is not how he felt anymore. Now, one person said to him, "So your opinion has changed in 6 months?" He was unable to answer that. But I do commend him. RFK, he was out there, he was answering them. He was definitely very comical during the interview, so it was more of one of the exciting ones to watch. Now, 3 in 10 people said that they are in agreement with him getting the Secretary of Department of Health. I don't really have an opinion on it because, listen, I am with Trump. The Green New scam, it was just a ploy to get you to spend more money. You don't even know if that crap was made organically. We just have to assume because they said it. He is also anti-chemicals in our food. Um, you know, we just recently had the bombshell news about Red 3 on, certain products that contain it. You can't have it now because it's been linked to over 10 different types of cancer, in the younger generation, and they don't want to go through that. It's bad enough when you got to go through it when you're older. you don't want to do it to the up and coming generation. So I agree with him on that. Now, this whole vaccine thing, listen, I'm pro vaccine. I believe the vaccine saves lives. I do. There are so many, illnesses that we have out here. And if we have a vaccine so that we don't have to go get it, I mean, I think that's great. So, pro vaccine, anti the new green scam. I don't buy a word of it. Um, he is also going to ban a multitude of food dye coloring. He said that food dye coloring or anything in it has had a substantial link to esophageal cancer or esophageal spasms. And that is actually what he has, is an esophageal spasm of the voice box, which is why he speaks like he does. So he's very pro that because it's not right. It's not right that we're allowing our children to ingest these dyes and these chemicals, and then it's crazy. There's just so much out there that you could already die from anyway. Food should not be one of it. Thank you for tuning in. This is today's American Goddess Politics.